Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Alex and today I'm gonna talk about why K-pop sucks now. I was already scheduling something else for the channel, but I saw this video and I was like, okay, we really need to talk about this. And I think it is time for someone to be at least honest and not trying to sugarcoat the truth. And I really want to say that if you are a snowflake, if you're not ready to hear a very parti pris, well, I don't think this video is for you. But if you're ready to hear what I have to say honestly, then welcome. So without further ado, we're going to jump into this right now.
There was a time when people couldn't get enough of K-pop. It felt like the genre was on track to become the biggest global phenomenon, breaking records left and right. But today, fans are starting to agree that K-pop is in shambles. The talent is still there, but something feels off. It doesn't feel authentic anymore. And no, I'm not talking about the usual fan wars or another idol getting cancelled for breathing wrong. I'm talking about actual chaos. Scandals upon scandals, music quality hitting rock bottom, fan culture becoming more toxic than ever, and an industry so focused on profit that it completely lost sight of what made K-pop special in the first place. Remember when K-pop felt fresh? When groups had their own sound? When you could actually tell which song belonged to which group? Yeah, those days are gone. Because now, every group sounds the same, scandals happen every other week, and the industry is squeezing fans dry. So, what went wrong? K-pop used to be experimental. It had variety.
There is so much to talk about in this video. I'm probably not gonna be able to mention everything that I want because the video is gonna be probably like 3 hours long. Since 2012, I've been a K-pop listener, let's say, and I've noticed over the years, it's been like 13 years now, that the quality is definitely decreasing. Something has changed and it's not like it used to be. And it's not like oh, it used to be better before, like, oh, before my song was better. It's not this kind of like boomer talk that I'm talking about. There's actually something that has changed, and I can say that that is true since it's been a lot of years since I've consumed K-pop, and it's definitely not going in the right direction. I think it might seem like it's still thriving and there was a lot of fans and, you know, there was a lot of K-pop groups debuting, but I think there was a lot more to it that doesn't meet the eye and is very under, let's say, that is not talked about enough.
You could hear the difference between a Big Bang song and a Shiny song in 2 seconds. You could hear the difference between a BTS song and EXO song. Now, if I played you 5 random K-pop songs from different groups, you wouldn't even know who sang what. The industry has fallen into a cycle of playing it safe.
Yeah, I think I've realized this. Even if you don't listen to the main, like the big 4 music, you will see that there was like a uniformization of sound. Back then, they used to focus a lot more on individuality, on having their own color. Now it's more like, let's make a song that's gonna be a hit, that's going to make a lot of profit. And I realized that in those cases, usually the quality is lessened. I'm not the one to say that K-pop was never about making profits, but you can see that because the profit is now so much in forefront and feels like it's the most important thing, it feels like K-pop is existing only to make money instead of like performing, instead of music, instead of like conveying emotion, stories and messages. I feel like he has lost its essence, and the true meaning of music is literally lost under these millions of dollars and all these numbers that are skyrocketing over and over and again somehow. I don't know how. This is also a subject to talk about. Is everything that we see true, like the numbers and all that stuff? Okay, I'm not gonna go further than that.
Prioritizing catchy, formulaic beats over true artistic innovation. Labels care more about following trends than setting them, leading to a wave of generic songs that blend into each other. What used to be a diverse genre full of surprises has now been reduced to predictable beats, copy-paste melodies, and a desperate attempt to go viral on TikTok. Blame it on the industry's obsession with TikTok trends. Companies don't make songs anymore, they make sounds designed to go viral for 15 seconds. Songs are literally being crafted with dance challenges in mind, rather than musical quality. The result? Music that feels disposable. Something to stream for a week before moving on to the next trend. Remember when K-pop had...
Yeah, I think this is an impact of having a TikTok boom since, let's say, 3 years. Since then, we had like a TikTok boom, and then company realized, oh, we can make a song that's going to be TikTok famous, and this is going to put this song on top of the chart, and we're going to get more money. So now companies are not making songs, they're making like songs that are going to be pushed by the algorithm of TikTok, and that everybody's gonna know it, everybody's gonna sing it and use it, and it's gonna bring more profit. And I must say, this kind of song, usually like 2 minutes, 30, 40, 50 at best, are pretty crappy. Like, the quality is pretty bad. It's super generic, there's nothing new, it's very flat, it's soulless. I think that's the worst part, is that it's soulless. It feels like there was no soul put into it. The intention is just to be like easy listening. You know, I don't have a problem with easy listening, but there is easy listening and then baby listening. Like, literally, you make this music, but it's literally, I could literally play it for a baby and it would be like, yes, give me more, talk. Like, it's kind of crazy. And it's very unfortunate, because now that they are making music to have like a cool choreography and so like it blows up on TikTok, artists are not focusing on live singing. They're focusing on dance, they're focusing on performance, they're not focusing on live singing anymore. It's all about what it meets the eye. You can definitely trim the ears with so much filters and reverb and echo and auto-tune. Like, you can trim the ears like that. But obviously there is always some people that are going to notice that something's not live. You're not eating breathing, you're not eating any kind of strange sound or natural sound, and people are gonna know. But like, I feel like most people don't know when it's live singing or when it's not live singing. Even me, I'm having a hard time deciphering which are and which aren't. And I think that's the saddest part, because people don't even understand why it is a problem. People don't know why not singing live is a problem. And the fact that you have to explain, and the fact that even though you explain, they just don't care. That's where we've come. That's how far we've come.
Bridge sections, when the production was insane, when choruses were built up to feel like an actual climax. Now it's just verse, pre-chorus, drop. No storytelling, no emotional payoff, just the same recycled formula over and over again. And the auto-tune? Oh buddy. Some idols sound like Siri with a voice filter. The days of raw live vocals are fading, replaced by over-processed, pitch-corrected performances that make every song feel robotic. The industry no longer focuses on vocal excellence, just what sounds good enough to be consumed quickly. Let's be real, if you blurred out the members of half these fourth-gen groups, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. The same AI-generated visuals, the same perfect styling, and the same vocal tone. Everything feels like it came out of the same factory, with no room for individuality. Groups used to have distinct concepts and unique sounds, but now, it's all just the same recycled formula with different faces.
Talking about recycled formula, I really wanted to point out that it's been 13 years and I am so sick and tired to hear the same lyrics, the same tune, the same melodies, the same, like, I understand that you want to revisit. I understand that there was some popular, kind of tunes, and it's okay if you like make it new, like you make it sound new. But they are just attempt of taking the old and changing nothing, like little to nothing. And it's like, do you think I was born yesterday? Like, do you think I'm don't listen to music? I'm not a dumbass. I know. So I've heard this last week. I've heard this last year. I've heard this 3 minutes ago. And then you putting it out, and then you acting like it's a revolution. Like, it's so freaking disingenuous. It's taking us for idiots, and it's lowering our standards, and it's making us settle for a lower quality. And then it's serving us the worst type of art. Can I even call this art? Because where's the creation? Where is the creation part? Now, like, I'm very curious, what is the creative process? Because most of what you are putting out is something that is already on the market, it's already on a charts. And so you're copying and pasting the same thing, trying to repackage it a certain way, but I can tell. I can see through. And what's the point?
Gone are the days when a group could have a signature sound. Instead, labels are too afraid to experiment, forcing idols into a mold that prioritizes marketability over authenticity. The industry is terrified of taking risks. Labels don't want an idol to stand out too much, because that might disrupt the group's perfect balance or make them harder to market. Instead of nurturing individuality, they create manufactured clones. Idols who fit a strict mold, designed not to push creative boundaries, but to maximize profit. This results in groups that feel more like commercial brands than actual artists. Every concept, every outfit, and every song is meticulously crafted to be safe and digestible, ensuring no one deviates too much from the formula. And what's the result? A K-pop landscape that feels increasingly stale and uninspired. Fans aren't blind to this, they crave uniqueness, but companies keep serving the same aesthetic, the same choreography, and the same generic sound. The lack of risk-taking is making K-pop boring, and if the industry doesn't start embracing individuality again, fans might start looking elsewhere for excitement.
Really, I want to say that the last, I'm gonna say 5 years, K-pop has gotten very boring. Finding a good song is literally like chercher une aiguille dans une botte de foin. Like literally, I could spend a whole day searching for K-pop songs, and then I would say like 70% that I find is crap, is literally trash. It's literally, I've heard this before, the quality is bad, they are not talented, the song and the lyrics are terrible, the concept doesn't make any sense. Like, is that asking for too much? Like, are we asking for too much? I'm so confused. I'm sorry if I sound angry making this video. I promise, I'm not someone that gets angry. But when you touch to art, to creation, that you exploitative, it really makes me mad, because I don't like to be taken for an idiot. And I don't want you guys to be settling for something worse than you deserve. We deserve good music. We deserve good music, especially if you're gonna pay for it, especially if you're gonna spend time consume it. I think that's the minimum. K-pop was already super superficial, especially with the way they choose the members. And I used to think, oh, it's so cool. How does he do that? Like, she's amazing. Wow, that's outstanding. But now I'm just like, I could do this. I could do this better. I could do this way better. This is not normal, because the reason we have artists is that they are the best of the best, and they are here only because they have been chosen against all the other ones that were not enough, but they made the cut. They were better than others. And right now, I don't think that's what they're serving us. They're serving us pretty faces. I don't know if he's gonna talk about this, but they're serving us pretty faces that can do a dance or two, like a little jingle, doing a TikTok move and all that stuff. And and we were like settling for this. Oh, but she's pretty. Oh, but you just a hater. Oh, you just this. Oh, you're right. Like, come on. Are you listening or are you defending? Like, I'm sorry, but you have to listen to understand. And maybe you might change your mind, and maybe you might not. But don't listen to me and then answer right away so you can just like give it excuses.
Groups aren't encouraged to explore their unique musical identities because the industry prioritizes what sells over what's artistically fulfilling. And in doing so, they're slowly killing the magic that made K-pop so exciting in the first place. K-pop always had a weird obsession with controlling idols' personal lives. But it's worse than ever. Companies force idols to act like they're single forever because apparently their fans will have an emotional breakdown if they find out they're...
Okay, before we even get into the relationship aspect, I just wanted to say super quickly, like, the brands, the advertisement. I mean, obviously, we need to take care of the expenses. We need to cover, the loans and pay the staff. But you're gonna tell me, I'm not gonna say any names, but you're gonna tell me somebody just debuted and they just got a super important role. You're gonna tell me some group just debuted and they're getting advertisement for a huge brand. I know that in the game is unfair because the big four, blah blah blah, they have a lot of power and all that stuff. I get it. It makes sense. It's not fair, but I get it. But then, don't you think they're going too far? Don't you think they're taking us for idiots? Don't you think some things are getting a little bit out of hand? Okay, we're gonna talk about relationship, K-pop and the relationship with the fans and whatever.
Oppa, or Ani, is dating. And let's talk about fan culture. K-pop fans are spending thousands of dollars just to collect photo cards. Literal pieces of cardboard. Streaming is no longer about enjoying music, it's a full-time job. Fans set alarms, organize streaming parties, and dedicate hours just to ensure their favorite group tops the charts. If you don't stream 24/7, you're not a real fan. And when idols do date, the internet implodes. Death threats, boycotts. I can't believe they betrayed us. What betrayal? You don't know them. Some fans even go as far as demanding public apologies, forcing idols to write handwritten letters as if they've committed a crime. This level of obsession has turned fandom culture into something toxic, basically, like a cult. Idols are treated like characters in a fantasy world, expected to be flawless and forever available to their fans. But let's be honest, it's getting out of control. The industry feeds into this parasocial relationship because it profits from fan loyalty. But at what cost? Idols live in fear of normal human experiences, and fans lose touch with reality. At some point, K-pop fans need to ask themselves, are we supporting idols, or are we suffocating them? How many apology letters have you seen in the past year? How many idols have been cancelled over something ridiculous? At this point, there's a scandal every other week, and it's exhausting to keep up with. Some scandals are serious. Issues like bullying allegations, company mistreatment, and idol exploitation deserve attention. But others? Completely blown out of proportion. An idol says one slightly wrong word in an interview and suddenly their entire career is at risk. They're forced to issue a public apology, bow in front of cameras, and sometimes even take an indefinite hiatus over minor misunderstandings. And let's talk about...
My boy is cooking in this video. I'm sorry. The difference between being nice and being honest, it's quite different if you didn't notice. I'm gonna be honest. I might not be nice. I'm sorry. K-pop, music in general, Hollywood, whatever you want. It has always been in this nature of like nurturing a kind of relationship, a super close relationship with their friends, the fans and the celebrities, right? But then I must say, let's say the past 10 years, I've gotten a little bit special, what I say. Special. That's a very toned down word for what I actually mean. I would say crazy, actually. Crazy. Because how are you going to tell me that celebrity don't have intimacy? They don't have a life outside of their work. And I know that it always has been like that, even like in Western society. But it's getting a lot more crazier than it should. How are you going to tell me that you're watching someone on the screen and you come to a point that you love this person so much that you refuse that this person tries, that you refuse that someone else is dating someone, is marrying someone, and you're going as far as to cancel that person, as to send death threats or to follow them. Like, I think this is the epitome of selfishness. It's truly that, like, not thinking about what is good for that person and thinking about what you want first. I think this is the biggest problem in society right now, is selfishness, and also self-absorption. I would say also narcissism, but I think it's the same thread. I think it tends to happen a little bit too much. Like, people focus so much on their emotion, their own feelings, on what they want, their own desires, that they don't even notice that what they are, who they are, is a terrible human being. I'm sorry. Some of them, I'm going to be nuanced though. I'm going to be nuanced because I know that some of them, there was like mental problem. There was like a fear of abandonment or all these kind of traumatic experiences that they have experienced. I get it. But I must say it like it is. If I don't say it, who's going to say it? Who is going to make this video? Oh my gosh, I'm talking too much. And to finish on this topic, the scandals. When I see people blowing out of proportions news, not only that haven't been verified, or even that are so small, out of proportion, on Twitter, on Insta, on, I don't know, Reddit, name it. It really outrages me, and I'm like, it's like you really have nothing to do with your life. I guess the benefits of the doubt doesn't exist anymore. I think people are so into it. It's like an addiction. It's like a drama that you're watching. It's like a train wreck, and you're participating in the wrecking. And also, I think as a society, we don't forgive. We don't know how to forgive. We don't know how to absorb the hit. We don't know how to absorb the pain. You don't know how to accept that people make mistakes. And we're just trying to get revenge. You're trying to get back someone, or trying to cancel someone. Wait a minute. Let me get real nuance on this. Some deeds are worse than others. Like, obviously, if we're talking about something real serious here, they need to be punished. They need to be, for a minute. Obviously. But then, for the minuscule thing, you're screaming on the streets, oh killer, oh, like, someone, like, can we stop with these allegations? Can we stop with the oh, but he should be out of the group. He should retire. He should be cancelled. Like, let's not even talk about the Kate netizens, because they are ruthless.
About how companies handle these situations. One day, they completely ignore a controversy, hoping it will fade away. The next day, they're making idols write handwritten apology letters in 5 different languages, trying to please every single audience. It's inconsistent, performative, and honestly, tiring. Social media plays a huge role in this mess. A rumor starts, it spreads like wildfire, and before you know it, thousands of people are demanding an idol's removal from their group. Even when claims turn out to be false, the damage is already done. K-pop scandal culture thrives on overreaction, and companies fuel it by constantly playing defense instead of standing by their artists. At this point, it feels like being a K-pop idol is walking on eggshells. They can't express personal opinions, joke freely, or even make simple mistakes without triggering a massive backlash. And with scandals happening so frequently, it's hard to tell what's actually serious and what's just another case of overblown internet outrage. Let's be real, the industry...
It's kind of annoying, like the number of time I hop onto a live. Well, I don't hop onto a live because I don't have the time to, stare at someone talking for, like, I don't know, 20 minutes to 1 hour. But I watch the lives, the rediffusion, let's say, and the number of time I see them look at behind the camera in fear of having something wrong that they are said, and they're looking at the manager. I was allowed to say that? Or like they're being super extra cautious to not say something and they shouldn't say with the fear of being cancelled. Do you imagine what it is to be living in the fear, to wake up and to just try to do your job, talking in front of a camera, and then fearing that your existence is literally deleted? Like your whole life is completely being destroyed by people on the internet. And then you make a mistake on live. You make this mistake and then you break a sweat. Like you watching your phone, you watching your manager behind the camera, and it's like, why do you have to do this? What is the reason to continue this adventure? So many people have lost their life because of this. Because people were talking on the internet. And it's very unfortunate. What are we doing?
The industry sees fans as walking ATMs. You're not a supporter, you're a customer. Every move the companies make is designed to extract as much money from fans as possible, whether through constant comebacks, overpriced merchandise, or endless album versions with random photo albums, overpriced. Not just a little, but ridiculously expensive. Sometimes with multiple versions, forcing fans to buy several copies just to collect all the photo cards. Comebacks? Rushed. Instead of focusing on quality music, labels push groups into back-to-back releases just to keep the hype cycle going. Concert tickets? Insanely expensive. Prices keep going up, and VIP sections are basically reserved for those who can drop thousands of dollars. Groups don't even get time to rest because companies milk them dry before moving on to the next big thing. The moment a group loses momentum, they are discarded, and a fresh batch of trainees is rolled out. Idols become disposable commodities rather than artists with careers meant to last decades. And don't get me started on luxury brand deals. At this point, some idols are more models than musicians. Instead of honing their craft, many idols are funneled into brand endorsements, appearing in fashion shows and promoting expensive handbags. While there's nothing wrong with making money, it's clear that for some companies, the focus has shifted away from music entirely. The result? Fans are getting fed up. They're tired of being treated like an unlimited money supply, and many are starting to question whether supporting the industry is even worth it anymore. K-pop used to have a strong grip on teenagers and young adults, but those fans are growing up and moving on.
About the brand deals, just to finish on this subject, yeah, I think you really tend to notice that some groups or some members are pushed towards being models or like endorsing brands, and it's like they spend more time being an image, a model for brands than they spend making music or performing. And people might say, oh, but that's fine because you use music to access to other things. And I'm sorry, you make music because you want to make music. You perform because you want to perform. You interpret songs because you want to interpret. You produce songs because you want to. You don't do that by thinking like, oh, I'm gonna do something else. And I think that's fine to change your career, because if you're not happy doing this job, why should you continue? But then you have to be honest with us. please be honest. Like when they debut like a group and then one member or two members are not good singers, that they're not good dancers, like you don't have to pretend. You don't have to pretend like they are good singers. Like just be honest. Just say dancer. Let's just say dancer. Like just don't give them one line or one onomatopoeia or something like that. Like we're not stupid. We're not stupid. And I mean, I hope we're not stupid. I hope we're not stupid.
Many people who got into K-pop during the second and third generations are now in their late teen or late 20s or even 30s, and their priorities have shifted. Life responsibilities, changing musical tastes, and even disillusionment with the industry are causing many long-time fans to step away from the genre. Unlike Western music industries that evolve with their audience, K-pop remains stuck marketing itself almost exclusively to young teens. Companies continue pushing bubbly, high-energy concepts and heavily manufactured idol personas, ignoring the fact that their original fan base is no longer in that age group. The result? A growing disconnect between older fans and the industry. Even newer fans aren't sticking around as long as they used to, with the rise of short-form content like TikTok.
Okay, I just want to say quickly, I'm so tired with the same concept. So, I like to think that there was like a few concepts that goes around, and then occasionally there's like a specific kind of concept that's new, creative, and has never been done before, or very little. And I think the main ones are this: bright concept, racing concept, slash sport concept, I would say. Like hard concept, like super hard, strong, going, berserk. The rock concept. The concept that's super pure and innocent, the Halloween concept. The dark concept. The girl crush concept. And you go around with all these. Okay, so again and again. You go around like this. And should I mention the concept that is done by everyone? It's like a ceremony. You have to do it at least once. It's the number one. The school uniform concept. Oh my gosh, I know they all want to do it because like it's a current thing, it's tradition. It's like, but I think once it's fine, right? Like once you have done it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, like, whoa, we get it. I think we get it. Guys. They like the concept when it involves the uniform ones. They might do it and it's slightly different, like pure, like sexy, sexualizing uniform concept. Let's not even talk about that. It's like they see a formula and they're like, yeah, we're gonna go for the safe option because it makes us more money and we're sure that it's gonna be a success. Capitalism. We love capitalism, but not 100% all the time every day.
Attention spans are shorter than ever, and K-pop's reliance on quick, viral trends is making it feel more disposable. Instead of forming deep, long-term connections with groups, fans jump from one viral moment to the next, leading to shorter fan cycles. Meanwhile, older fans who once felt a strong emotional connection to idols are starting to feel alienated. The industry still expects them to behave like obsessive teenagers, but at a certain point, life moves on. If K-pop companies don't adapt their strategies, offering more mature concepts, meaningful music, and a reason for long-time fans to stay invested, they risk losing an entire generation of loyal supporters who once helped build the genre's global success. There was a time when every new group felt special. Now, there are so many debuts happening every month, it's impossible to keep track. The problem isn't just the number of groups, it's that most of them aren't bringing anything new to the table. Too many groups are being formed not out of passion or artistic vision, but because companies want a piece of the profit pie. Every entertainment agency wants to debut the next big thing, hoping to ride the wave of K-pop's global success. But in reality, only a handful of groups actually break into mainstream success, while the majority struggle to stay afloat. Many disband within a few years due to lack of traction, while others fade into obscurity, barely making an impact despite the effort and talent involved. This oversaturation is making K-pop feel stale and repetitive. Instead of focusing on developing unique concepts, companies rush out new groups, each one sounding and looking eerily similar to the last. The competition is so fierce that even talented idols get lost in the shuffle. Fans barely have time to form attachments to one group before another dozen debut with similar styles and sounds. And let's talk about quality.
Saying that the K-pop industry is saturated is almost saying that human needs water and air. It's so obvious, like, I don't even want to talk about it. No, but the amount of debut a year is crazy compared to 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. And they're not even that good. This is what shocks me. It's like, who's debuting this? Who's debuting these people? Who said, okay, he's gonna break through the industry. He's gonna break the streaming platform. That really, I really wonder who's selecting these people. I thought we were always giving the best. I'm sorry, you're not bringing your best people. You're not pushing the best elements. You're not pushing like the brightest one or the better ones. Why they have been chosen? That's my question.
Quality over quantity. Some of the most legendary K-pop groups took time to develop their artistry. Their concepts were carefully curated, their music evolved, and their performances were distinctive. Now, we're seeing quantity over quality, where new groups are pushed out at a relentless pace with generic concepts, weak discographies, and rushed promotions. The industry needs to slow down and prioritize originality. If K-pop keeps flooding the market with copy-paste groups, fans will eventually lose interest. And if companies don't realize this soon, the genre risks burning out. K-pop is built on perfection. Perfect visuals, perfect bodies, perfect performances. But here's the truth. Perfection isn't real, and the industry's obsession with it is doing serious damage, not just to idols, but to young fans watching from the sidelines. From the moment a trainee enters the system, they are pressured to look a certain way. Many idols undergo plastic surgery before they even debut, with companies subtly, or not so subtly, encouraging procedures to fit the ideal K-pop look. Double eyelid surgery, V-line jaw contouring, nose jobs. These are not just common, they are expected. Some agencies even include plastic surgery clauses in contracts, forcing idols to undergo procedures as part of their debut preparation. But it doesn't stop at surgery. Extreme dieting is the norm.
So we've talked about this a little bit in my last video about like the whole appearance part of K-pop. I'm not gonna get into details again with this one. The same thing to do is to put ourselves in their shoes and realize what we are creating. Years and years of insecurity, of stress, of trauma, of unsatisfaction, and of depression, probably. All this pressure, all these standards, all these requirements are so demanding that if you meet them, you will probably live insane. Like, there's no way you will be untouched. There's no way you will be perfectly medically normal, healthy. There's no way. No way. Life is already hard as it is. But another celebrity, do you imagine? People say, oh, they have it easy. Oh, they have a lot of money and they have fame and all that stuff. Why don't you do it? Why don't you just do it if it's so easy? You can earn a lot of money. You can get a lot of fans, a lot of attention and fame. Why don't you do it?
Norm. Idols are put on strict meal plans that barely meet daily calorie needs. Some are told to survive on 1 meal a day, or even just water and an apple. The pressure to maintain an unrealistic body shape is so intense that some idols collapse from exhaustion, while others openly admit to struggling with eating disorders. The scariest part? This is all normalized. Fans praise idols for their dedication without realizing the suffering behind the scenes. This culture of perfectionism seeps into the fan base, particularly among young teens. Fans see their favorite idols looking flawless and assume that that's the standard they should meet. They compare their natural faces to idols who have had multiple surgeries and professional styling. They compare their bodies to people who have been starving themselves for years. It creates a cycle of insecurity and self-hate, especially among teenagers who are already vulnerable to body image issues. And let's not forget filters and editing. K-pop idols are often photographed and filmed under perfect lighting with heavy airbrushing to remove even the smallest imperfections. Many fans don't even realize they're looking at altered versions of reality. The skin isn't that flawless, the waist isn't that tiny, the jawline isn't that sharp. It's all part of the illusion that the industry has carefully crafted. South Korea has seen a massive rise in cosmetic procedures among teenagers and young adults. Some fans even save up money for years just to get the same procedures as their favorite idols. The industry doesn't just promote beauty, it profits from insecurity. The impact? More and more young fans are turning to plastic surgery clinics to achieve the K-pop look. But hey, maybe I'm wrong.
I think a lot of time we see someone beautiful, we see something great that helps us, but never do we think about the long-term consequences. Never we think about our own responsibility. Never we think about in depth what does that do to us and to others. And I think just thinking about surface level thing, the superficiality of like what meets the eye, the looks, whatever, is going to be our downfall. Like just as a society, I'm not just talking about K-pop, but that's not, yes I am. I don't know if we realize what kind of society the youth is growing in. Like my generation is real messed up, and I feel like the next one, Alpha, is just getting worse. It's just getting worse and worse. And I was talking about the beauty standards in the last video, and this industry, K-pop, the fact that it aimed to teenagers and to people in the early 20s, later 20s, even like early 30s, and then it affects them. Like these people spend their time, their money watching these people, and they compare themselves. They look at themselves in the mirror and they see how they are lacking. Never do they think, oh, maybe because of this image that is portrayed in the media, I feel like this, or I feel like that. Like all this empowerment, all this like superficiality, this needs of being the best or showing the best or showing the perfection, always showing a perfect image of yourself, of our K-pop idols or celebrity in general. Now people are strong, they are not affected, they are not influenced at all. I'm not making this video to crap on K-pop or on K-pop fans. I'm making this video because it makes me angry that we give so much power to this thing and we let it change ourselves, our behavior for the worst. For the worst. Is what we are getting worth it? Is what we are getting enough? Is what we are getting good for us? I don't want to be a fear-mongering person or like a dramatic person. Well, actually, I'm kind of dramatic, but you get what I mean. I think there was really something to change, something to do. The power is between our ends because they are going where the money is going. And if we express our dissatisfaction with the end product, we can change things. I really don't want to finish this video in the negative note. I think there is something to do. I think there is something that we can all do that will change things. Not just like yell on Twitter or something like that. I think there's a way of saying things, and I think we need to find a way to express it. Let me know what you think about this video. I'm sorry if it was noisy in the background. I'm really curious about what you all have to say. This is a big subject, and I really needed to get this off my chest, and I want to thank this person for making this video. That was very, very important, very well made, well said, and I don't think I disagreed with anything said in this video, so props to this person for making it. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, and I see you very soon. Thank you for watching. Take care. Peace out.